Some say he vanished. Others believe he was never real to begin with. But the truth is quieter than that. He was simply a man who one morning walked into the fog and never looked back. This is not a story about being lost. It's a story about letting go. It happened in early autumn. The fog had arrived overnight, soft, silent, and endless. It clung to the trees, curled around rooftops, and swallowed the road beyond the hill. And as the village stirred awake, he stood at the edge of it all. A man wrapped in a simple coat, carrying nothing but a worn leather notebook and a faded photograph. He stared into the fog for a long time, not as if he feared it, but as if he knew it, as if it had been waiting for him. The villagers watched from their windows. They knew him, but not well. He had always been kind, but quiet. He lived alone, worked with his hands, and wrote often, though no one ever read what he wrote. Some say he had lost someone. Others say he had been searching for something he never found. But on that day, he didn't speak. He didn't wave goodbye. He simply stepped forward and disappeared into the white. Inside the fog, time did not move the same. There were no paths, no sounds, just the soft hush of breath and memory. He walked slowly, deliberately. Each step forward felt like a step inward, into himself, into all the years he had tried to forget. He remembered the child he once was, the dreams he buried, the words he never said. The fog somehow held all of it. At times he felt the weight of the past clinging to his back, guilt, regret, questions without answers. But as he kept walking, something shifted. The weight began to dissolve. He whispered names he hadn't spoken in decades, forgave those who never asked for it, and, most of all, he forgave himself. It was not dramatic. There were no revelations or voices from the sky. Just a man, releasing pieces of himself, one memory at a time. Eventually, the fog began to thin. Light filtered through, warm, golden, quiet. And then, just like that, he stepped out. Not into a different world, but into the same world, with different eyes. He was not younger, he was not cleaner, but he was lighter. He returned to the village weeks later. Though none recognized him at first, his face was familiar, but something in his presence had changed. He smiled more easily. He listened with softness. He no longer carried the notebook, and the photograph had been left in the fog. When asked where he went, he only replied, "I went where I needed to go to remember who I am, and what no longer belongs to me." From then on, people began walking to the edge of the fog themselves, not to disappear, but to sit, to breathe, to let go. Letting go does not always mean leaving. Sometimes it means staying, but staying different. The story is not just about one man. It's about anyone who has ever carried too much for too long. Anyone who needs to step into the fog, whatever form that fog takes, and come back, lighter. If you are holding on to something that no longer serves you, perhaps this is your sign. Not to forget, but to release. Because sometimes, the most courageous thing we can do is to walk forward, even when we can't see where the path leads.